Andariki Namaskaram. Principal Secretary, Industries and Commerce, Shri Jayashandan Garu. My Special Secretary of Investment Promotions, Dr. Vishnuvardhan Reddy Garu. Kalyan Krishnamurthy Garu, the CEO of Flipkart. Rajneesh, Hemant, to all the distinguished dignitaries who are assembled here. I welcome you all to this event. Couple of quick things. We all know technology is literally permeating into every sphere of business, every sphere of life. I think there is no one sector which remains immune. And today we live in a very interesting world. I was just checking with Kalyan to make sure whatever I was saying is accurate. We live in a world where the largest bookseller, the largest FMCG goods seller, even the largest fashion goods seller actually does not own a single brick and mortar store. There's no physical store per se. The largest transporter does not own a single vehicle. And the list goes on. I mean, e-commerce is literally redefined how we think, how we actually work, and how we kind of conduct ourselves in a day-to-day life. I was just also sharing with Kalyan, each and every day, my wife and my daughter, they order something online and I see boxes coming and rolling in. So I keep checking with them, what did you order now? So they'll say, some fashion item or some electronics item or something else. So it's interesting how India has really adopted to selling and buying everything online, including groceries, including fashion goods, including electronics, including, I think, even big ticket items. And there was a time when people used to say that Indians are a very touchy-feely country and they have to touch and feel and only then they'll buy. But I think Indian women, kudos to them. I think they have certainly rediscovered the Midas touch and ensured that FMCG and fashion also have now become super popular in terms of how quickly they've adopted. Flipkart is a great story in terms of how they've really taken over the market and how today they've become the leader in India. All I was asking Kalyan and his team, Flipkart, I know you're growing and I know that you will grow in days to come with technology becoming even more pervasive. You will continue to grow. But just wanted to place 2-3 things on record and make a formal request to you as well. E-commerce is redefining businesses and how they are done. And now we hear new words. Media has latched onto a new word now, gig economy and gig jobs. People talk about how, there was work from home and now this gig economy, gig jobs, and how e-commerce is literally creating newer opportunities and newer jobs. What we have to remember though is, e-commerce is a fantastic thing for convenience, for the benefit of consumer, for price discovery, for seamless operations, for cutting down unnecessary middlemen, etc., etc. These are all good things. But what we also have to realize is, as we go on this journey, we also have to take care of our gig workers. We also have to ensure that their livelihoods are protected. I was very happy when you mentioned 40,000 jobs, livelihoods created by Flipkart in Telangana. I am extremely impressed with the number. But what we also need to understand is, how can we ensure that these 40,000 people feel secure, that their livelihood will not be affected drastically. They're not at the whims and fancies of market, or they're not at the whims and fancies of what happens which is extraneous to them, which is beyond their control. So my request to Flipkart, Kalyan and his team, let's create a model, let Telangana make a statement to the country that even these gig workers will be taken care of through a tripartite arrangement between the government, between companies like Flipkart, and with, of course, a lot of your marketing and vendors and partners. Because when you give them the confidence that this is a job that you can aim at and that is something that is going to give you livelihood, and in case something goes wrong, your family, you will be taken care of, etc., etc. That is something that we need to also start looking at. Yesterday was Labor Day, as you all know, International Workers' Day. Now, we have to give confidence as India grows, as Telangana grows, as e-commerce grows. We have to start giving more thought to the idea of gig economy, gig jobs, and how we can take care of our youngsters. Because we are a young country. I keep getting a lot of messages on in my social media handles, saying, for lack of better opportunities, I'm temporarily working either for, one e-commerce company or another. Now that needs to go away slowly, because we need to start building a credo, we need to start building an aspiration around working for e-commerce channels as well. Because if you are able to take care of their livelihood, if you're able to give them the confidence that this is actually a decent paying job, then I think, you'll be creating far more loyalty. And as a market leader in India, I think Flipkart should lead this from the front. I request you to kindly consider this, and let's create a unique model, and let's ensure that the rest of India follows. There was a saying at one point of time, what Bengal does today, India does tomorrow. But it has changed a bit, Kalyan, now. You don't visit us very often, but it has changed now. What Telangana does today, India does tomorrow. That's for sure. So let's make a statement to the rest of India as well, because if we make a statement in India, then you're literally talking about 1/5 of humanity. So therefore, I think this will also become a shining example for the rest of developing world as well. This can also serve as a case study of sorts for the rest of the country as well. The second part, I would of course also ask you, we have tasked a very able agency, the Telangana Academy for Skills and Knowledge. I was just requesting Jayesh, Ranjan and Kalyan to work on a model where we actually create a workforce, because you're just talking about 400,000 square foot of warehouse space in Sangareddy, and I'm sure these numbers will keep growing, and you'll keep growing in size and stature as well. We need to create a workforce that is readily employable. So that is the primary objective of task. What I would propose is not just for Flipkart, but the Retail Association of India and the e-commerce group that we have in Telangana that we have established. Please take this as an agenda item, and let's start working together with the government to create a readily employable workforce with the necessary skill set. What is the sort of skill that you're looking at? Instead of taking them through your own Flipkart Academy, training them for 6 months or 3 months, I think it would be in the best interest of the industry, in the interest of the state, because geographically, we're bang in the middle of the country. The centricity of Telangana makes us a very interesting option as a logistics hub, as a hub for various activities to kind of disseminate your goods, your services to about 8 different states adjoining. And more importantly, it can also serve as a hub between the north of India and the south of India. So my humble request is to create a workforce which can possibly start looking at more refined opportunities, which can start harnessing their skill to become more readily employable, is something that we also need to look at. And the third thing and the last thing I'd say, in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, we have very strongly federated women self-help groups. We have, in fact, lakhs of women who are very strongly, who are a very strong part of our SERP. SERP is the Society for Elimination of Rural Poverty, and MEPMA. MEPMA is a similar arm in municipal administration. So both in towns and villages, we have very, very strongly entrenched women self-help groups. I was just inquiring with them on how we can get more women involved in operations, involved in these centers that we have set up. I'm glad that in Sangareddy you seem to have struck some kind of a balance. I see about 20-25% of women at least there. I think you should aim at creating 100% women-run fulfillment center here, 100% at least in the day shift, and then maybe we can start looking at 24 hours and days to come. Please aim at 50% participation of women. I think this is what is going to create a lot of opportunities in the rural areas, and livelihood for rural women. And what the government of Telangana can do is allow you to work with SERP and MEPMA, so that we can actually have a win-win situation created. The government with the private sector and also the women, all of us working together can create a very, very conducive atmosphere. The really last thing I'm going to say, I forgot this, so I'm going to say this. This is the really last thing. You mentioned something very interesting. You said as this industry grows, I was asking how we could continue to maintain the momentum, how we can continue to attract global leaders to Telangana, to India. You said 2 keywords are quality and compliance. I assure you that the government of Telangana, while we want industry to expand, while we want you to create newer livelihood opportunities, job opportunities, we will certainly not also compromise on workers' rights. We'll certainly not encourage any exploitation of any kind. So therefore, quality and compliance, when you said it, not just that just doesn't apply to the goods and services and service levels, but it also will apply to ensuring that there are no sweatshops in Telangana or in India. So as we grow, I think it's important and it's imperative that we also create a two-way street where industry and private sector will create opportunities where equitable opportunities are given to workers, and also the government ensuring that quality and compliance standards in terms of infrastructure, in terms of work hours, in terms of their wages, in terms of also ensuring that their day-to-day needs are met with. Today in our offices, in our IT corporate offices, you'll have creche, you'll have a infirmary, you'll have so many other facilities. Something similar needs to happen as we grow as a country, as we continue to grow as a country, because each of your large 1 million SFT warehouses, each of your large 500,000 SFT warehouses, fulfillment centers, we need these facilities as well if you want women to be enrolled, if you want even men for that matter to be working there. So I look forward to a wonderful e-commerce journey, but with a socially responsible behavior from the private sector. And like I said, let Telangana be the leader in making a compelling statement on gig economy, gig jobs, e-commerce, and how it can actually flourish while being socially responsible at the same time. Thank you very much. Jai Telangana.